more than 6 weeks since he was elevated to the most powerful position in the Islamic Republic. Iran's supreme leader, Mojtaba Khamenei, has yet to make a single public appearance. Statements attributed to the 56-year-old cleric have been read on national television or posted on social media, and the regime has even used AI-generated videos to show him delivering messages, fueling deep speculation that he is incapacitated or abroad. It is a striking departure from the style of his father, the late Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, who rarely let a week pass without a speech or carefully timed public intervention. Mojtaba Khamenei was elected the third supreme leader of Iran by the Assembly of Experts following his father's assassination during the 2026 Iran war. He was injured in the airstrike that killed his father on February 28th, and his appointment was followed by a prolonged absence from public view, causing confusion over his fate. Now, according to a CNN report citing multiple U.S. officials familiar with intelligence assessments, Khamenei is believed to be operating from deep inside hiding, but is still playing a central role in directing Iran's wartime strategy. American intelligence agencies believe he has been working alongside senior Iranian officials to shape Iran's military and political response as tensions with the United States continue to escalate. There is, however, one major problem for Washington. Intelligence officials say they have been unable to visually confirm Khamenei's whereabouts since the attack on his father. He has not appeared in public even once. Sources cited in the CNN report say the Iranian leader remains in isolation while receiving treatment for severe burn wounds to his face, arm, torso, and one of his legs. Adding to the mystery surrounding his communications, he is said to not be using any electronic devices. Instead, he reportedly interacts only with those who can visit him in person or send messages through couriers. What U.S. officials? The NILs know about his status is based on information gathered from individuals said to be communicating with him directly. Yet even that intelligence thread carries uncertainty. Some analysts within the U.S. intelligence community are questioning whether figures inside Iran's power structure may be falsely claiming access to Khamenei in order to exploit his authority for their own agendas. As one Iran analyst put it, Mojtaba is missing in action, so attributing views to him is a good cover for Iranian negotiators to protect themselves from criticism. Iran's official line, however, remains one of reassurance. Mazahar Hosseini, head of protocol in the office of the supreme leader, appeared before a crowd in Iran to push back against what he called foreign disinformation. The enemy is spreading all kinds of rumors and false claims. They want to see him and find him, but people should be patient and not rush. He will speak to you when the time is right, Hosseini said. He maintained that Khamenei is recovering well, describing the injuries as relatively minor: a small piece of shrapnel behind the ear, a slightly injured foot and lower back, and that his wounds are healing. Meanwhile, Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian, who continues to serve as president under the new supreme leader, has sought to project stability by saying he recently met with Khamenei in person, though without specifying when exactly the meeting took place. What struck me most during this meeting was the vision and the humble and sincere approach of the supreme leader of the Islamic Revolution, Pezeshkian said in a video broadcast by Iranian state television. Analysts note that Iran's security and decision-making structures have changed significantly since Mojtaba Khamenei came to power. Unlike his father, who towered over Iran's political system as an undisputed final arbiter, Khamenei Jr. appears to operate as one voice within a broader consensus-building process among security elites, a position reflecting both the transitional nature of the current moment and an involving balance of authority inside the Islamic Republic. To formalize this chain of command, the Iranian parliament has taken a significant constitutional step, consolidating all diplomatic authority regarding the United States directly under the supreme leader's control. A member of Iran's National Security and Foreign Policy Committee stated plainly that the legislative and executive branches have deferred entirely to Khamenei's judgment on the question of war or peace. Ultimately, the decision rests with the supreme leader. Everyone obeys, and there is no disagreement in this area, the official said. For Washington, the clarity is double-edged. There is no longer a back channel to navigate, no moderate faction to engage quietly. The trajectory of the ongoing ceasefire process hinges entirely on the calculations of one man who has not been seen in weeks. In a defiant statement read on Iranian state television, Khamenei vowed to protect Iran's strategic programs, its nuclear and missile capabilities, despite mounting pressure and the war imposed by the United States under President Donald Trump. He also issued a stark warning about the U.S. naval presence near the Strait of Hormuz, declaring that the only place Americans belong in the Persian Gulf is at the bottom of its waters and that a new chapter was being written in the region's history. The U.S. imposed a naval blockade on Iran on April 13, 2026, following the failure of the Islamabad talks to end the war. President Trump, speaking at the White House, defended the blockade as a decisive show of military strength and gave no indication of lifting it anytime soon. Trump called the blockade genius and 100% foolproof and said Iran would have to cry uncle and say they give up before any deal could be reached. The blockade has been 100% foolproof. It shows how good our Navy is. Nobody's going to play games. We have the greats. Key military in the world, Trump said, asked whether the pressure of the blockade and sanctions would be enough to bring Iran to nuclear talks or whether a new wave of strikes would be necessary. Trump said simply, "I don't know. It depends." He confirmed that talks are ongoing, conducted by phone rather than the grueling 18-hour flights that characterized earlier diplomatic efforts, but insisted there would be no deal unless Iran agreed unequivocally to abandon its nuclear weapons ambitions. Iran proposed a mutual reopening of the Strait of Hormuz while postponing nuclear talks for later, but Trump rejected the plan outright. OPEC's Gulf producers have already been struggling to export oil through the Strait of Hormuz, the narrow choke point through which roughly a fifth of the world's crude oil and liquefied natural gas normally passes. Adding a new dimension to the global energy picture, the United Arab Emirates formally announced its decision to quit OPEC and OPEC Plus effective May 1st, 2026, citing its long-term strategic and economic vision. Trump, asked about the UAE's departure from the oil cartel, said he viewed the move positively, praising UAE leader Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed by name. "I think it's great. He's a very smart man, and he probably wants to go his own way. That's a good thing. Ultimately, it's a good thing for getting the price of gas down, getting oil down, getting everything down," Trump said. On the domestic front, Trump was also asked about the latest legal developments surrounding former FBI Director James Comey. Comey was indicted by a grand jury on charges including making a threat against the president and transmitting a threat in interstate commerce, stemming from a since-deleted Instagram photo showing seashells arranged on a North Carolina beach to spell out 8647. The charges mark the second time Comey has been indicted in a federal case since Trump's second presidential term began. Comey self-surrendered to appear in court and has maintained his innocence, saying in a video response, "I'm still innocent, I'm still not afraid, and I still believe in the independent federal judiciary." Trump, when asked whether he genuinely believed the seashell post constituted a threat on his life, used the occasion to lay out his interpretation of the term 86. If anybody knows anything about crime, they know 86. It's a mob term for kill them. The mob uses that term to say when they want to kill somebody, they say 86, the son of a gun. That means kill him, Trump said before acknowledging he was keeping his language measured. Asked directly whether he believed his life was in danger, Trump paused before answering, "Probably. I don't know. Based on what I'm seeing out there. Yeah, people like Comey have created tremendous danger, I think, for politicians and others," he said. He went on to describe Comey as a dirty cop who had tried to interfere in elections and mishandled prior investigations, adding, he check at it on the elections. He tried to help Hillary Clinton. He's a crooked man. Legal experts have noted that prosecutors will likely face a high bar to prove that the Instagram post constituted a true threat, a standard requiring evidence that the individual understood their message would be perceived as threatening, a threshold established by the Supreme Court in 2023. The case is being widely watched for its potential First Amendment implications, given that the phrase 8,647 inches has become a widely used slogan among Trump critics, appearing on protest signs, merchandise, and social media platforms nationwide.